Oh, there we are. Hello. Sorry, y'all. Haven't been using StreamYard much lately, so still learning it. Hello, everyone. Hello, Maddie and Dreamer. A little bit different view tonight. You're not looking down here at the diamond painting that has absolutely nothing done on it because the drills are still in the freezer from 2 weeks ago. So tonight, y'all know I wasn't around last weekend. I went on a 50th birthday hike, y'all. Thursday last week, last Thursday, the 17th, was my birthday. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dreamer. I'm still trying to figure out StreamYard here. Um, I was looking at different ways to do things and all. So, hello, Della Marie. Dreamer, they're in the freezer because they were so full of static that I couldn't do anything. I didn't have any dryer sheets. I have since remedied that problem about the dryer sheets, but they're still in the freezer from 2 weekends ago. So there's still a whole half kitted up set of drills in the freezer for 2 weeks. So instead of diamond painting tonight, I figured, you know what? I would take you along with me for the last weekend. I spent 4 days. I left Wednesday after work last week. Um, I probably could have gone live on Sunday night last week, but I got home at like 9:30 at night. Figured, you know what? I'll just wait. Um, so I decided to skip last weekend. But yeah, because I was into Smokies. I actually probably would have been home a lot earlier on Sunday night, but I stuck around the Smokies and did the touristy shit. You know, after spending 4 days out on a trail, which to me honestly is a better way to see the Smokies than driving around in a car and doing all the touristy shit. To be honest with you, it's better to like get out on the trail and get out in the middle of nowhere for a few days and enjoy the wilderness and just be alone with you and nature, which is what I did most for the most part. I ran into a few other people out there, but not very many. Yeah, Hank's over here being Hank. Um, so that's what I did. I left Wednesday night after I got off work. Hello, Diane. Welcome everybody as y'all are coming in. Um, so yeah, I left. I got off work Wednesday. I kind of scheduled myself to be done a little early on Wednesday, and I drove up to the Smokies. So that's where the adventure begins. Now let's say the adventure begins actually about 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago. My hiking buddy Jordan uh, planned my trip, and my route was originally supposed to. If anybody is All right. Hey, I'm back. Hello. Hi. Are we back? My internet got disconnected for a minute, y'all. Hank decided he wanted to scratch on his scratching post and got right in the place where my plug is for the internet box. And he knocked the internet plug out of the wall because it is a very, very, very loose plug. I actually have to tape the plug that plugs the internet in there. I have to duct tape it to the wall. So he got up there and knocked it loose for a second, so I had to fix that. Thank you for waiting, y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so back to the story. Hey, it was him. I'm not nowhere near that over there by the door. My buddy Jordan bought me the permits and the because you have to have permits if you're hiking in the Smokies and you plan on staying in the shelters or using the backcountry campsites. You have to have permits for those. So for my birthday, he bought me the permits. He planned the route. The route was supposed to be a 30-mile loop. Started and ended both right by the Elkmont campground. And that's kind of on the northwest side of the Smoky Mountain National Park near Gatlinburg. So when you first enter the park, you have the Sugarlands Visitor Center, and then from there you make a right and you go around and you go about, 5 miles or so, and it takes you over to the Elkmont campground. So I was supposed to go over there. Well, I get there at probably, midnight-ish or so. And I stop at the visitor center. I use the machine outside to get my weekly parking pass so I can park there for the week, for 4 days. And so I start driving down to the Elkmont campground, and the closer I get to the campground, I lose my internet signal completely, or my cell signal completely. I'm like, this is great, wonderful. So I get down there, and just as I'm getting up to where the trailhead is, I'm supposed to start on the Little River Trail, take it to the Sugarland Mountain Trail, take that up to the Appalachian Trail, cut all the way across the Appalachian Trail, probably like 12 miles, and then cut south on the Myrie Ridge Trail to the Jakes Creek Trail. And then the Jakes Creek Trail ends right next to where the Little River Trailhead is. So the trailheads are like right beside each other. And it was supposed to be a big 30-mile loop, kind of going counterclockwise or going clockwise. Just as I'm about to get up to the trailhead, I see one of those big flashing signs with words on them like they use on construction sites, and they can tell you, drive safe, slow down, whatever. This one here says Little River Trail closed Monday through Thursday through September 30th. Well, there goes the first part of my hike. Little River Trail. Hey, Odd. So I'm like, now what do I do? So it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Jordan's asleep. He's got to go to work, so I can't call him. So I text him anyway, and then he'll get it when he wakes up. Well, I'm going to text him. So I decided to drive all the way back to the Sugarlands Visitor Center where I did have cell signal. And I already had my parking permit, so I could park there, and everything's great. So I back into a parking spot there, and just kind of text Jordan and let him know what's going on. I figure I'll go talk to the backcountry office in the morning and let them see if they can, help me out finding a different route to do, that because I was planning on starting and ending at my car, getting all kinds of Alabama news. So I was going to start and end basically at my car. So I was wanting to park at the trailheads and then just do the loop and come back and get right in my car and leave. So I decided, well, it's this late at night. I had only gotten an hour of sleep on Tuesday night before I went to work all day Wednesday, and then left Wednesday and drove all the way down to Gatlinburg. So I was tired, and I laid down in the truck to take a nap. Hey, Nana. So I laid down in the truck to take a nap, and I fell asleep. I set an alarm. For like, I think they said the backcountry office was supposed to open at 8. And so I set an alarm for 6:45. Figured I'd get up, go use the restroom, whatever I had to do, before I get going. Maybe even make myself a little bit of breakfast there on the tailgate of the truck before I take off. And I fell asleep. And I don't remember anything else until I hear tap, 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 tap on my passenger side window. Well, I snap awake and I look up, and there is a park ranger in, basic park ranger police uniform. He's got the gun. Looks like a cop. He's just park ranger for the National Park Service, tapping on my passenger side window. I panic for a second and I start pushing buttons on the side of rear, trying to roll my window down, forgetting that my buttons on my driver's door are broken for the passenger side, and so they won't roll the passenger side windows down. So I'm over there hitting buttons, and the only one it won't roll down is the front passenger side. So it's rolling up and down the driver's side windows and the rear passenger side. And I'm like, no, hold on. I just got out of the truck, which probably is a bad idea to do. You're not supposed to get out when an officer pulls you over. I get out. And he comes walking around the other side of the driver's side. Of course, my hands are where you can see him, so you ain't got to worry. I'm in my hiking gear. Like, there's nowhere to hide a gun anyway. And he says, so we got a call that you were here, and you've been here for a long time. And I was just checking to see if you're okay. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I said, I got here like 1:30 in the morning. I said, the trail that I was going to hike today is closed on Thursdays, and I didn't know it. I said I was going to wait to go to the backcountry office when they opened. He said, well, you missed that. And I'm like, huh? I said, what time is it? He said, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. And, oh, no, Nana. Oh, no red wasps. I got lit up by a whole nest of those a couple weekends ago. That sucks. So he says, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, man. I said, I really overslept. I said, I was supposed to hike the Little River Trail today and go up to the Appalachian Trail and cut around. I was supposed to start a 4-day hike this morning. He says, you're not going to do it sitting here in the parking lot and sleeping in your car. I'm like, no, sir, no, I'm not. And I said, I'm sorry about that. He said, well, let me see your ID. I gave my ID. I knew there was nothing. The good part about this is the fact that my registration on my car expired in July of 22, and I never got it. Renewed until Wednesday. Before I left to go on my trip, I went and got my registration renewed on my car and got insurance on it. So I got really lucky on that one. So he comes back over. He says, well, you're not allowed to park in the parking lot and sleep in your car. That's illegal camping. I'm going to let you off with a warning this time. He said, my advice is go talk to the backcountry officer. I said, well, that's what I was here to do to begin with, officer. And he says, have a good day. So I get up, I go in the backcountry office, I talk to them, and we go over the maps. And we figured out the best thing for me to do is to call a shuttle, which there's tons of shuttle services for hikers in the Smoky Mountains in that area, because a lot of your Appalachian Trail through hikers will use shuttles to get into town and whatever from the trailheads. So I call a shuttle, and this guy is really cool. His name was David too. He I tell him, hey, I'm going to meet you over at this trailhead. I don't have cell signal over there, but I'll meet you over there at such and such time. He had to call me back a couple of times before I left to go over there, because he couldn't exactly find it on a map. And I'm like, you're supposed to be a shuttle service for the Smoky Mountains. You're supposed to know these things. He didn't know them, but he was still cool. Finally got it worked out. He found it on the map. He figured out how long it was going to take to get him there. I drove over. I got my pack all ready. Everything was out of the truck, ready to go. We get in his car, and he drives me I want to say 13 miles over to Newfound Gap. which is a really popular stop if you've ever been in the Smoky Mountains. It's one of the more scenic overlooks. It's also where Franklin Delano Roosevelt actually commissioned the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Was at Newfound Gap. There's a big thing there that he stands on and all that he stood on to commission it and all. And there's a big parking lot there with a beautiful overlook, which is where I took my first pictures. Let me get in here and we will start looking at pictures. Share screen. Share screen. Select a tab to share. Select a window to share. Right there. Share. All right. So here we are. We kind of drove, when I arrived there, this is right up the street from the campground that I started my hike out from. It's a pretty stream running through there. It's Jake's Creek. There was some people there trout fishing, so I didn't know you were allowed to trout fish in a national park. So, I mean, I just got a couple pictures of that. It was really pretty. Nice little mountain stream. On the drive over, I got some really, really good pictures while the guy was driving. That's... I want to say that's one of the peaks going up to Clingman's Dome. If not, the one in the background back there is Clingman's Dome. The one way back there. We got that one there. It's just kind of some mountains along the roadside there through the Smokies. Really beautiful, beautiful drive. If you've never got a chance to go, you have to go to the Smokies. Even if it's just to do the touristy shit, go to the Smokies. You will never, ever regret it. This here is what they call chimney tops. These right over here on the left, on the far left, are the chimney tops. That is where there was a big wildfire. I want to say in 2011, I think it was. There was a big wildfire. A couple of kids right up here on the top of these playing with fire started a wildfire that ended up burning its way all the way down into Gatlinburg, killed 14 people. It was really, really bad. It's still a big controversy to this day as to who should have taken some fault in that. I guess another shot here. I don't know how that happened. Weird kind of picture. It's just a tunnel there you go into. And then this is the view from just before you get, this is actually Newfound Gap is where you're standing now. But the actual Newfound Gap, visitor area or parking area is just a little bit around the corner from this. And then I put my pack on after he dropped me off, and right beside the parking lot is the sign. Jeez, my phones are going nuts. For the Appalachian Trail. Who in the world is calling? Hold on a second, y'all. Hello? Hey. You don't? Oh, hold on. I know it's on. Okay. All right, I got it fixed. I'll get it fixed here in a sec. I know what I'm doing. Share screen, window, share. There we go. Is that better, y'all? Let me open this up on my phone so I can see the comments, because when I'm sharing screen, I cannot see the comments. I'm still learning StreamYard, so bear with me. There we go. All right, there we go. I was wondering what that dinging was. I was like, who in the world? I thought it was one of my customers, because that's my work phone you were texting, Nana. And I had been calling earlier to make appointments, and I left a lot of voicemails. So I thought it was one of my customers dinging me back. So I was kind of ignoring it, wasn't paying attention. Still don't have the pictures yet? You should. How about now? Well, son of a... All right, hold on. Present. Share screen. Oh, hold on. Slides. Add a file from your computer. No, I'm not uploading anything. Present. Share screen. Share screen. Share entire screen. Share. Okay. There we go. Can y'all see this now? No, Dawn Marie. That's my ringtone. Oh, come on. StreamYard is sharing your screen. It says it's sharing my screen. Stop sharing. Present. Share screen. How about a window? What in the world? Cancel. Present. Man, I should have tested this, but I didn't have time. How in the world do you share a screen? Because you're supposed to share a screen. Okay, go to there. Now go to StreamYard. Go to Present. Share screen. Window. Open that window. Okay. No, I want to open that. Okay. Now, go back to StreamYard. Share that window. Share. Okay, is it working now? Hey, J-Rob. Hey, Robert. Oh, wait. J-Rob. Not J-Rob. Hi, Jennifer. I guess Jennifer is Diamond Queen 2020's name. I never knew her name. Sorry. Why is StreamYard not screen sharing? Is there something in my settings? Oh, I have to add it to stream. There we go. Hey, now we got it. All right. There we go. Now we got it sharing. Do we not? I had to add it to stream. I did not realize that. All right. So there's the little river where I'm coming in at. Took a couple pictures of it. This here is just driving over to Newfound Gap in the shuttle. The far back there, I think, is Clingman's Dome, and that's the highest point on the Appalachian Trail, the entire Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. That's the highest point on the trail there. And then I can make this bigger if you need to. How do I shift to cinema layout? There we go. All right, take me off the screen. All right. And then that's kind of just driving over. Like I said, if you've never been to the Smokies, you need to go to the Smokies. It was beautiful sky. The first day was kind of cloudy like that. Lots of clouds. You'll see as the story goes on here. It was rough the second day. That's another mountain just driving over. I'm not exactly sure what mountain that is or anything about it. Just kind of drove past. I was taking pictures out the window. This is chimney tops. These two over here on the far left are what they call the chimney tops, and they're much, much higher in person. That picture there doesn't do it justice as to how high up that is in front of you, and it's like a wall, like a big round wall in front of you. That's where the kids started a fire, was up on the top of the chimney tops that burned all the way into Gatlinburg. So all of that down there is all new growth. Everything down through there, it's all fresh new growth. Everything all up and through here, you can see it's kind of all fresh growth. It's only, about 10 years old. The temperature in the mountains that day, or for my weekend hike, was in the 60s. The higher you got, the lower the temperature got. Like where I started and ended the hike, or where I ended at, was kind of down a little bit lower, and so it was in the upper 70s down that far. But for the main part, the trails are all up on the ridge lines, so it was up in the 60s up there, and it was really nice hiking. Seeing that I left Wednesday, the heat index here was like 109 on Wednesday here, and then I went to the Smokies and it was in the 60s for 4 days. I didn't want to leave. That's another view at the chimney tops. That gives you a better idea of how dominant that is in front of you from that overlook. That's just a view off the side of the road there that I took because I thought it looked cool in the background. I don't know what that picture is. It kind of got messed up somehow. That's driving, coming around. You're getting ready to go around a bend to the left, farther up where that little red car is way up there. But it looks like you're about to drive right into that mountain. Instead, you'd make a turn around to the left, and there's a tunnel there. Takes you through the tunnel. That's actually Newfound Gap. So you're looking right down Newfound Gap from there. There's actually a road right at the bottom where these two come together down here. There's a road that runs right along the valley, at the bottom of the valley. But you can't see it in the picture. So I got the Newfound Gap, the parking area, got out. This is what's right there where I get out of the car. Appalachian Trail. That first day, my plan was to hike to Mount Collins Shelter, which is 5 miles. Stay at Mount Collins Shelter the first night, and then continue on down the Appalachian Trail, go over Klingman's Dome, and go to Siler's Bald. And there's a backcountry shelter there at Siler's Bald as well. And I was going to stay there. And then you hike another 2 miles, 2.3 miles, I think it is, to the Myrie Ridge Trail. Then the Myrie Ridge Trail, you hike about another 7 miles to Jake's Creek. And then when you hit the Jake's Creek Trail, I would go another mile from after hitting the Jake's Creek Trail to where I was camping for the third night. And then it was just a 2 mile hike out the following morning, or the Sunday morning. So I got another picture of it. I take 2 pictures of almost everything. At Newfound Gap, you're standing on the Tennessee-North Carolina state line at 5,046 feet in the air. Yes, Mount Washington. That's New Hampshire. So I had to take a picture standing at the Tennessee-North Carolina state line. Saw a DeLorean there in the parking lot. There's my pack way back there in the background. That's my backpack. That Appalachian Trail sign is actually, there's a road that you can see where that car is going there. That Appalachian Trail sign is basically right behind where that grayish SUV is back there. That's where the Appalachian Trail sign is. And you take that on down behind these trees and down that way, and it takes you onto it's actually, you're going southbound on the trail, but you're actually at that point, we're going east-west. That's the look from the parking lot. There I am. Got to take a picture. Get yourself at the overlook. That was my 50th birthday, y'all. That was me on my 50th birthday right there. And you can see me holding the camera out in front of me in my sunglasses. And there's another shot of me. That's actually a different, yeah, it's a different picture. And I don't know how that one got taken. I think I was putting the, if you notice, there's a pocket. You can't hardly see it, but there's a pocket down here on the right side beside that, right here. That's my phone pocket. And you can see my charger cable going to it. I was probably putting it in my phone pocket when I took that picture. And there's my first video. That was walking down the Appalachian Trail. I don't know if you can hear it or not. I don't know if you can hear it or not. Thank you, Cat's Gallery. Actually, that selfie is now my primary picture on my dating profile. Thank you, Diamond Queen. Thank you, Diane. I got engaged in the Great Smoky Mountains. Awesome. Yes, the colors were beautiful. There were points in time where you're walking through and it was old growth forest. There's a lot of old fallen trees there with that green moss all over them. And it just looked like a fairy forest from like a fantasy game. It was just a beautiful, beautiful area. This was going uphill. The first full day was all uphill to Mount Collins. And then the half of the second day was uphill to Clingman's Dome. And I'll tell you a little story about that when we get there. That was nuts.
Ooh, these steps are brutal.
Yep, steps were very brutal.
It's been almost all uphill since I left.
Let's see. Let's just zip one forward through it. There we go.
It's a great cardio workout. Everybody should try this at least once.
Yes, it's a great cardio workout.
Whew. Temperature is in the 60s Fahrenheit, which is just absolutely beautiful.
No, it was only uphill till Clingman's Dome. Then once you hit the highest point on the Appalachian Trail, it's all downhill from there.
Camera ain't picking it up, I guess. There's a mountain top right over there.
Yeah, you can't see it. It's like right in there.
Right
There's
in the
a
middle
mountain.
of this picture. That's where I'm staying at tonight.
That's Mount Collins back there. And that's where my shelter was that night. It was up on Mount Collins. The trail is very rocky, rooty, lots of roots to walk over. And now you're doing all this with 30 pounds on your back. So
lots of rocks and roots and steps and some mud.
And there's a nice steep drop off on the right side right there, if you can see.
The Smoky Mountains are actually a temperate rainforest. This is the world famous Appalachian Trail. Or I guess the proper pronunciation is Appalachian. I always thought that sounds kind of funny. It's always been the Appalachian Trail to me. I'm about 2 miles in now. Not too bad. Maybe a mile and a half. Got about 4 more to go today to the shelter. I have a nice warm dinner. Chill out and relax in the middle of the wilderness. And then I got about 7 miles tomorrow. Get up early and do that. Get up on Clingman's Dome tomorrow in the late morning while it's really pretty. It's the highest point east of the Mississippi River.
And that was pretty much it for that.
That's where we are.
Now this was interesting. If you read the sign, it's a beech forest enclosure. It's a beech forest exclosure. They have wild pigs. Did you have to haul your own food? Yes. Yes. You always backpacking, you haul everything you need to live in the wilderness for however long. If you're going to go for a 4-day hike, you at least bring 5 days worth of food, which I did. I probably brought 6 or 7 days worth of food, to be honest with you. And you take your tent, all of your sleeping stuff. Like I have an inflatable sleeping mat that's, designed for backpacking. So it folds up real small and fits in your pack, and it's really lightweight. I've got a down sleeping quilt. I took my quilt on this trip because I knew I wasn't going to experience any real cold temperatures. My quilt is only designed to keep me alive down to 30 degrees, keeps you comfortable anywhere from like 50, which is about what we were hitting that night. I have another sleeping bag that keeps you alive down to 17 degrees Fahrenheit, keeps you comfortable when it's in the 30s, 20s, and 30s. So I didn't carry that because it's a little bit heavier, but both of them are down, so they're really lightweight, and they smush down really small in the bottom of the pack. You brought extra clothes for colder weather just in case. I brought long sleeve heat gear shirt. All of my hiking clothes are all synthetic, so I'll use all like Under Armour stuff. I wear Under Armour leggings underneath of my pants, and my pants have zip off legs, so I can zip the bottom half off, turn them into shorts. I have heat gear leggings and cold gear leggings. I have heat gear shirts and cold gear shirts. I have a short sleeve heat gear and a long sleeve heat gear, so that way I can stay cool or stay warm, but not too warm. That's what I wear when I'm hiking. So I carry those, so they're all lightweight in the pack. Of course, you got all your food, my sleeping bag, my tent. My tent is only about 2 pounds, all folded up total. Your cooking gear, which is, for me, is just a 1 liter titanium pot. And it's got this little mini stove it's like a little mini, looks like a Bunsen burner almost, that you put on the top, Bunsen burner with little unfoldable legs that you can sit the pot on top of. I screw that on top of one of those little gas canisters, and that's how I cook. I boil water, and then I take dehydrated meals that I can pour the water into. Don't forget something for what? Or for wet. Yeah, I use for hiking. The best thing I found for the wet weather is Dreamer. It all comes out when I get done and I pack everything up that I need. It averages out anywhere between 27 and 35 pounds total, including the pack weight, all of my electronics, my battery charger that I carry. I have a charger bank that can charge my battery, like supposed to be able to charge my phone battery like 6 or 7 times. I carry that, my charging cables, my headlamp that I can put on if I have to hike in the dark. I'm well prepared for everything. As far as the wet weather, the best thing I found, and is cheap, so that way you can keep replacing it because it's not really durable either, though, is Frog Togs. You can go to Target, Walmart, whatever, and pay like $12.99 for a pants and jacket set. They're Frog Togs. In fact, you can wear them when it's cooler and windy, and they make a great windbreaker, and they help keep you warm because the heat inside can't get out very well, and it traps all that in. So they actually work well when it's just cool and windy too. They double as a good windbreaker. I carry those. Those go in the bottom of my pack, and I also have a I can't remember the name of it, but it's stuff they use for insulation on the paper-looking stuff they use for insulation on the Tyvek. I have a Tyvek piece that's the same size as the bottom of my tent, so that I can use that as a ground sheet under my tent, so my tent won't get like rocks poking through it and stuff like that. And so I carry that in the pack as well. So I'm well prepared for anything that may happen along the trail. The only thing I don't carry is my gun. I could, because I do have a concealed carry. As long as I'm staying in the Smokies, I'm all right. As long as I'm not going to like some of the other states that don't honor my concealed carry. But otherwise, I was set. You have water. I carry 2 1-liter smart water bottles, and I can refill those because I have a 1-liter bladder thing that has a sports lid on the top, but when you unscrew the lid, it's got a built-in water filter. And so I can scoop the water out of the lake or the river or whatever, screw the lid back on, and then flip open the sports lid and squirt it into my 1 liter smart water bottles. And I can refill my water at pretty much any water source. And there's a lot of natural springs in the Smokies. So yeah. So now they have a lot of wild hogs in the Smokies. They're an invasive species. They're non-native. So this sign here, I come up on this weird looking thing, and you'll see it here in the video here in a minute. It's approximately 20 special sites that have been identified for fencing against the wild hog, a non-native animal that has been present in the park only since the 50s. This enclosure contains a beech forest community that is unique to the southern Appalachians. It contains an assemblage of native plants and animals that would be seriously impaired by the invasion of hogs. The fence was installed in 1984 in an effort to retain the natural character of the site. So this sign is right there at this thing that I come up on. It looks like a cattle grate. Did I not take a picture? I thought I took a picture. I guess I didn't. Oh well. But what it is there's a fence that's running along the side of the trail on the right side as you come up to it. And then there's a little piece of fence sticking out across the trail.
Still and quiet.
Yeah, it was very still and quiet. You see how all the moss is on all of the old dead trees and stuff, and it's just like a fairy forest out there. The colors here are not as vibrant on camera as they were in person. In person, that was all bright green. And that was a weird video. And there's one of the natural springs right along the side of the trail.
A natural spring. That's a natural spring. If you've never seen one, that's a natural spring. It's running down the hill. This is a place to stop and get some water. Absolutely beautiful out here. Got to the shelter, night one.
And there's the shelter.
Set up all ready to go.
So I get to the Mount Collins shelter, and that's what a shelter is. It's a 3-sided lean-to out in the wilderness. It's got a roof on it. It's got a bar across here that has like nails that you can hang your pack off of. Problem was there was a rat. That roofing is like 2-ply plexiglass and fiberglass roofing that's kind of so the sun can shine through. And there was a rat running around between the 2 plies of fiberglass up there. And rats and mice are notorious for getting in your pack. And normally they have a string hanging off of that pole, off of that beam across the top up here. There's normally a string hanging there. And partway down that string is a cut off like Coke bottle to be able to keep the mice and stuff from climbing down into your pack, because they will get into your pack and they will chew their way into the pockets and stuff, and they'll mess up your pack really bad. So the shelter normally has two levels. This one here is down on the ground. I don't like sleeping that close to the ground without a tent around me, so I did it on the top platform. That's my sleeping pad, my sleeping quilt. And then I got some other stuff over there beside it. But yeah, I got to the shelter. There was nobody else there. So here's a little tour around the shelter.
Got that all inflated. Got my quilt on there. Here's my pack, unpacked. That's my food bag, my clothes bag, an extra Under Armour shirt. My fleece is under there. My tent that I won't need. And my toiletries kit, and of course my cook stove and cook pot, and my nice new little cup that I got at REI today, or yesterday before I started hiking. This thing is it's lighter than a wiffle ball. It's tiny. Well, it's 2 cups, but it's lighter than a wiffle ball. And I also brought an Contigo Nalgene bottle for my Carnation instant breakfast in the morning to go along with my oatmeal. Yeah, everything's set up. Bear cables are around back here.
I take you over. Now they have bear cables. I demonstrate the
I don't have a
bear
water
cables
solution,
here.
though, so what water I've got.
So you hang your food pack, your food
Like,
bag,
find
and sometimes your pack on these
probably find
bear
some,
cables, so the
Cleveland
bears
Zone
can't get
3 miles up the road or up the Hut Trail. But yeah, there's bear cables. You pull the hooks, you pull it down until, see, the hooks are right there, that high. But what you do is then when you get all done and you're ready to get your food back, bring it back down. But your food hangs in that right there, your food bag does. And then you pull this down and pull it down and pull it down and pull it down. And this little hook right here hooks into the tree here. There's a little ring there on the tree. And then your food is hanging way up there at the top.
Yep.
And that way, the bears can't get your food. And yes, there are bears out here. They don't want you, they want your food.
Yep, there are bears, and right this time of year.
So y'all are going to see this well after the fact. Probably not till I get up on Kingman's Dome tomorrow. So yeah.
I didn't have a cell signal at
I
this
just
point.
giving you a little tour of the joint.
So I just took videos and narrated them.
Looks like I'm the only one too. And it's getting dark in the woods. See, it's dark. It's not dark outside. It's
Hey, Big Nizzy.
that's actually darker than. Well, no, that's about right. Screen.
It was starting to get dark.
Yeah, warning. Do not cook or eat in this shelter. Food out odors attract bears. Well, where the hell am I supposed to eat? Please use the privy where one is provided. Why? I'm not cooking in the privy. I need to eat.
I'm not cooking in the privy.
Where am I going to cook and eat if I'm not going to cook and eat?
I'll be honest with you. I was scared to
Bench.
death that night.
Bench. Take my setup. I will cook. I will wash everything out. And I will put it all away, put it in a food bag, and hang it up. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right. Talk to you later.
All right, so there's the little tour around the. Oh, missed it. Go back. There was a deer that came to the shelter that night. And she didn't seem to really care that there was anybody here. Now this is the first deer I saw. The next night at Siler's Bald, we had a deer that just kept doing laps around the shelter eating, for an hour. She just kept staying right there beside. She walked, I mean, literally within a couple of feet of me at some points, and she was just so calm and peaceful. But no, I'll be honest with you. I was scared to death because that was the first time I'd ever hiked alone in the Smokies where there was a bear threat. I've always hiked with other people, and I've never stayed in a shelter alone at night in the Smokies, especially that far out in the wilderness away from civilization. No cell signal and dark. Man, you can't describe dark until you've stayed in the wilderness at night. It's dark. And every single twig snap you hear, every single noise you hear, you are wide awake. It is not, I guess you get used to it, and some people do. That was my first time, so I was scared to death. There's a picture of me in the shelter getting ready to go. The dark had already started to come down. I had my headlamp on.
Hello.
There I am.
So here I am. I'm in the shelter. Nighttime now. This is the first time I've spent the night alone. There's absolutely nobody else in this shelter. And I'm in the middle of bear country. Okay, y'all, it's bedtime.
There I am at bedtime.
It is so quiet out here. Like there's no other people, and it just feels weird. Oh man, this is nuts.
Yes, Dreamer, they are.
You know, I like these alone trips, but I don't like these alone nights up in here. All right, talk to y'all in the morning. Bye.
Yeah, so it's dark and scary, and I wasn't at all at ease that first night. But yeah, you do. The shelters are booked ahead of time. Okay, for people that are day hiking, as they call it, or you know that aren't through hiking, aren't like you have your Appalachian Trail through hikers, and they're the ones that are just going to be passing all the way through the park. It takes them roughly 5 or 6 days to get all the way through the park from one end to the other. So some of them can do it in 4. Well, those guys, they buy a pass that's good for 7 days, and that allows them use of any shelter along the trail that they need to use for the next 7 days. However, day hikers book their shelter stops in advance and have to pay a permit fee for each one of them that they're going to stay at. So if a day hiker comes in and the shelter is full, he has priority over the through hikers that are going all the way through, that are hiking the Appalachian Trail all the way through. And so they have to get out and use their tent if a day hiker comes in and the shelter's already full. Shelter will sleep anywhere from 10 to 12, but you're packed in like sardines with strangers, and that's not a lot of fun. No, there's no key, Dreamer. It's just a 3-sided lean-to. So it's open on one side, and then it's enclosed on the back 3 sides. So there's no key. It's just you hike, you just go in. It's wide open. So, yeah, you have to book those ahead of time so that the National Park Service knows that they're where people are at, because they don't want people that are out in the wilderness without them knowing that there's somebody there, basically. And your payment that you pay for the fee helps upkeep that shelter. No, it's not unsafe. People do it all the time. I mean, it's just a backcountry shelter, and you're required to use the shelters in the Smokies. You're not allowed to come up to an empty shelter and set a tent up nearby. You're just not allowed to. That's because you'll ruin the native grasses and stuff out there, and they want to, it's a national park. So you have to sleep in the shelters unless the shelter is full and overbooked, and then you're allowed to use your tent. This particular shelter, they had actually pulled the fire ring up from it because people had been killing live trees nearby, and there was too much damage to live trees. So they took the fire ring away. So all there was a fireplace in the shelter, and they said they would seal that up if they continued to see damage to live trees. But no, it's not unsafe at all. It gets used, I mean, especially during the peak season of through hiking, which if you leave in February, March, you're going to pass through the Smokies in like sometime in April. And you're hiking that trail with thousands of other people. So when you get to a lot of these shelters, there's other people that are doing the same thing you're doing. And the hiking community, I'm going to tell you this, the hiking community is probably one of the tightest brotherhoods out there. Yes, you've got some bad apples. Every place has some bad apples. But the hiking community, they look out for one another. They genuinely care and try to help one another, because we're all out there to do the same thing, and we're all out there in the same amount of danger as each other, and we all understand that danger, and we all look out for one another. So it's really not unsafe, because any bad apples are weeded out by the rest of the community. There's only been 1 or 2 instances throughout the years of, like, there was a serial killer back in the 80s or early 90s that they caught out on the Appalachian Trail. He was out there trying to hide out and was still trying to do some of his stuff, but the hiking community actually banded together and turned him in and got him caught. There's plenty of women out there, Dreamer. There are plenty of women out there on the trail. Some hike solo, some hike together with friends, some hike with their husbands, boyfriends, whatever. Yeah, it's safer than you might think, believe it or not. It's a lot safer. Your biggest threat out there is more from the wildlife than it is from the people. And even the wildlife, most of it's scared of you too. There was the next morning.
Good morning, y'all. So, slept well last night. No bears. Didn't see any, didn't hear any. You'd be better off knowing if one did not come walking by here in the middle of the night. Yeah, it's about 6:30 in the morning. I've been up now about an hour. I left this phone and my work phone here and charging beside me. There on the. I'm going to see it. Yeah, there they are. Yeah, left those charging beside me here. So my alarm went off on this one. I forgot that my other phone that I use a lot, I had it still in my backpack, and my backpack got put out on the bear cable last night. So after I woke up to this alarm and shut it off, I kept hearing an alarm going off, and I said, "Oh, yeah, okay. My other phone's going off up there." Just kind of, the Bama fight song going off in the woods. As you can see, it's a little wet out here today. Clouds moved in overnight. I'm socked in clouds right now. Let me flip the camera around. I guess you can't flip the camera around while you're recording. Okay, well, there's a look around. You can see the clouds have set in. It's kind of foggy looking. It's really, really windy, and all of the moisture from the clouds gathering on the trees is causing it to rain. It's not raining from the cloud like it would rain down in a normal place. It's actually raining from the trees. So my pack got really wet, but luckily I lined the inside with a giant contractor's bag, so everything inside stays dry, so it's not a big issue. I got my rain gear on so the wet pack won't soak me down too. But otherwise, it's chilly and windy and wet. That's the way today's going. So I'm going to get me some breakfast going, get the pack all packed up, and then head down to the water source, which I did find, which is actually about 1/10 of a mile away down the trail. There's a spring down there that's flowing pretty well, actually. So I'll be able to go fill all my water bottles and stuff from there. And then it's just a short 1/10 of a mile hike back up here, and then a half a mile back up to the junction of the Appalachian Trail. And
yes, Dreamer, I went alone.
Clingman's Dome. And Sour's Ball tonight.
No,
All
Dreamer, you don't.
See y'all
You don't
there.
check out when you finish. You don't check in when you start either. You just tell them what shelters you intend to stay at during your hike and which night you intend to stay at them. That's it. Whether you actually do or not, they don't care. I mean, but at least they know that if a hiker named David Lochner hasn't been heard from for 3 days, then they can look up and say, well, he was supposed to stay in this shelter this night, this shelter this night, this shelter this night. So we know where to start looking. And they know which route you were taking at that point. So that's the reason why they want you to basically book the shelters ahead of time. It's more for their peace of mind, and they know where to go looking if you don't turn back up. And somebody calls in and says, hey, my loved one was hiking in the Smokies and we can't find him. And if they get his name, they get that hiker's name, then they can look in their records and say, well, that hiker was supposed to stay here, here, and here. So we're going to go look there. We'll concentrate our search along that route. Stalker shelter. Oh. So that was, I'm coming up a hill, and that was a giant rock boulder up there. There's a giant old tree growing out of the top of that boulder there. That was amazing. Huge boulder. Yeah, never lie about your route. Always, and you always tell somebody what route you're taking and where you're going. Always. Before you leave. So that way they know where you're going to be and where you're supposed to be on what days. And that way they can tell the authorities, hey, this is, and when you do the permits for the shelters, you have an emergency contact person for them to contact, so that that person is the one you should be telling what your route is and where you plan on being on what days. Your ass is covered when you go out there, trust me. Some more video of nothing.
Hey,
There I am again.
So here I am. I'm alive. Didn't have signal pretty much most of the afternoon yesterday, and all night last night in the shelter I didn't have any. It was dark and scary in bear country, all by myself in that shelter. Thankfully, I have a headlamp that lights things up pretty well. But I'm alive. I'm well. I've done about a mile already today.
Not at all, Dreamer.
I got signal for the first time, so figured I'd check in.
Not at all.
I've got about 6 more miles to go today until I'm at my shelter for tonight, and I'm about 2 miles from Clingman's Dome. So yeah, I'll catch y'all later.
Emergency contact equals come get the body. That was the trail going up that hill.
All right, this climb
That's going up Clingman's Dome.
Ain't no joke, y'all. Whew.
And you can see I'm in the clouds.
It's almost straight uphill with rocks.
It is, Dreamer. It's always more fun with someone else with you. But when you're out there alone, you have time
And I've still got
to
about another mile.
escape from everything.
Yeah. Ooh. Yep. All right. See you at the top.
That was the climb. That was starting to climb up Clingman's Dome. And that's a really tough climb. But believe it or not, that climb there going up to Clingman's Dome to me was easier than going to the visitor center where all the tourists go and walking up that half-mile trail to the top, which was horrible. It's like a half-mile paved trail up to the top that you take to get up to the lookout tower, and that sucked. This is another section of the trail right near there. That's right, Sherry. You really do. You really do your best thinking. It's calm and peaceful. And if you stop and just let everything settle for a little bit, the trail will speak to you. It's you end up with this. It's a weirdest feeling, and there's no way to describe it until it happens to you. But when the trail speaks to you, it's this feeling that comes over you of just calm, and it's a moment of realization of that none of this really matters. All of the stress that you have about work, about whatever, none of that really matters at all, because you're still alive and you're still here on Earth, and that's what really matters. And it's the most calm and peaceful feeling that you only get when you hike alone and you get out in this wilderness alone to get like that. Well, you can still tell. I mean, you wouldn't want to go on the other side because you saw me turn the camera around there. It was a steep drop off down one side. You got a hill on the other side of you up there, and this is kind of cleared off. It's like, you know, you can tell it's the only passable route. So you know it's got to be the trail. And this trail that I'm on in this video goes all the way from Springer Mountain in Georgia all the way to Mount Katahdin in Maine. So it looks like this a lot of the way. But there are blazes on the trees. I didn't show any of them, but ever so often on a tree, there'll be a white mark that's about the size of a chalkboard eraser. And it's white paint. And that's to let you know that you're on the Appalachian Trail. That's just a view out off the side of the trail as I was walking. You can kind of see another mountain back there. Man, I keep clicking too fast. It's just kind of quiet and peaceful. There's the clouds covering the mountain over there. You can kind of see them. And while I'm standing here filming this, a cloud actually came in and covered over me. It was really neat.
These are the first views of the day. I think we're not coming out of the clouds. We're just up among them a little better, I guess. There's blue sky up ahead, or up above. Look at that valley down there. How pretty is that? Time for a snapshot of that.
The clouds are just kind of covering out, slowly but surely coming over me. I had to take a few pictures there. And there's, you can kind of see, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but you can kind of see the mist coming in on that. There's the shot that I used for my screenshot or for my thumbnail. That's the trail up ahead. I mean, you can plainly see where the trail is, so you can follow it with your eyes. It doesn't look all cleared like a hiking trail in like a public park somewhere. I mean, this is a wilderness trail. It's not a, you know, it's not meant to be easily passable for everyone, I guess. And this is the observation tower at Clingman's Dome, the highest point along the Appalachian Trail. We were just under the clouds. Dreamer, no, I didn't do the whole trail. That's in 2026. I'm doing the whole trail from, I was supposed to be doing the whole trail this year. I was supposed to have left last March and hiked all the way to Maine from Georgia, but my finances didn't hold out the way they were supposed to. And so I didn't make the hike this year. So Jordan and I are going to leave on his birthday in February 28th of 2026 from Georgia. And we're going to hike all the way to Maine, and we're going to finish the trail at the top of Mount Katahdin on my birthday, August 17th of 2026. Did I see a lot of wildlife? Actually, not really. Those two deer, the one at the first shelter the first night and the one at the shelter the second night, I saw those. And then I ran up on the third day. I didn't get any video or pictures of it, but on the third day, I was on the Myrie Ridge Trail, and I was about a quarter mile onto it. I had just been on it for about a quarter mile, and I came around this bend in the trail, and up ahead, I saw something black, about the size of a black bear, and I thought it was a bear. And I yelled, "Hey, bear," because that's what you do, and they run away. And it started running, but it stopped and turned and looked at me, and it was a wild pig. It was a wild hog, and then I saw little piglets running after her. She ran farther down the trail towards where I was going. Here there was a giant hog wallow right in the middle of the trail that I had to end up walking through, and her and the piglets were in the hog wallow. I did run into hikers, Don Marie. The first day I had none. I take that back. The first day I had some that were just kind of passing through, and they were going the opposite direction, and we'd stop and tell each other where the next water sources were, that kind of thing, like what all hikers do. And then I got to Siler's Bald Shelter the first night or the second night, and I thought I was going to be all alone there again that night. And then just before dark, another guy came walking in. His name was Andy, and he was section hiking. He is section hiking the entire Appalachian Trail, meaning he's been doing it for 15 years. He's been trying to do the complete trail, but in sections at a time. And he's working on the Smoky Mountains section now, and then all he has left is Virginia, and he's done. This was from the top of Clingman's Dome still. It was really cloudy, kind of. The clouds were coming and going, so everybody was running back and forth across the top of the observation tower like, oh, the clouds cleared over here. Let's all get a picture over here now. And then the clouds would clear on the other side, and they'd run to the other side of the tower, and they'd all take a picture on the other side. And it was just too many people up there, and it was too peoply, and I wanted to get away. So I left there after getting a few shots. So I revisited Clingman's Dome after I finished the hike. This one here was after I left Clingman's Dome and I was heading towards Siler's Bald. Actually, yeah, that's what that was. You can't see it in any of these pictures. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Where I'm at now, the Appalachian Trail actually runs this ridge line right here. The Appalachian Trail follows that ridge line, and it stays right up on top. Hank, stop. I don't know what he just did. Oh. So the Appalachian Trail follows that ridge line right there. The shelter I was staying in the next night was this last little bump right there. That was Siler's Bald right there. So I still had that far to hike that day. And that's just a view of the valley as you're hiking towards Siler's Bald. And here's another view of it. Siler's Bald is like over in here somewhere. So I still had that far to hike that day. Actually, that's Siler's Bald right there. Well, when you go out, Odd, you're right about that. When you go out in the nature and the wilderness to get away, the last thing you want is a bunch of people. And being that you're at a national park, you're going to have to accept the fact that you're going to run into people. There's just no way around it. It's a touristy place. In fact, it's the most visited national park in the United States. It gets over 41 million visitors a year. That's more than Yellowstone and Yosemite combined. So I just took a lot of great pictures. That is Fontana Lake in the North Carolina side. I don't know exactly what all these are. I can't identify all the peaks. There's a neat old tree along the side of the trail you come across. It got struck by lightning years and years ago. And there's some more Fontana Lake down there in the middle. There's kind of tried to get a close up, but it blurred it. This is okay. Okay, that was at the end of. I didn't get any video from Siler's Bald. No, wait. This is the start of the climb up Siler's Bald. The trail is overgrown with blackberry bushes, mulberry bushes, and the trail is running up through there, but you kind of lose it because it's so overgrown with overgrowth. This is at the base of Siler's Bald where you get ready to go up to it. It's about a mile. I think it's a 0.8 mile climb up to the top from this spot. And then when you get to the top of Siler's Bald, you come to one of these. Elevation above sea level, 5,607 feet, U.S. Geological Survey, $250 fine for disturbing this mark. So that's the actual summit of almost every major mountain in the Smokies has one of these. And there's some people that actually, their whole thing is wanting to tag every one of these in the Smokies by being able to climb up to it and actually find it and see it for every one of the mountains up there. There's my second night at Siler's Bald. There's my setup. You can see all the hikers that have written their names in the shelter. Everybody has a trail name. I don't have a trail name yet. But there's just so many little sayings written on the walls and so many people that through hike to the Appalachian Trail. In fact, some of them are people that are, rather popular hiking YouTubers. And I've actually found some of their names on the walls of when they did their through hike. And I've actually watched their videos of them doing the through hike. So seeing their name on the shelter that I'm staying in is just kind of really cool. Oh, yeah, there's plenty of berries, but the berry areas are where the black bears are because black bears are not predators. They're not carnivores. I mean, they're omnivores. They will eat meat, but they live mainly off of berries, nuts, acorns, stuff like that up there. So the berry patches are where you find the bears, too. There is a deer. That's the deer that was at the Siler's Bald shelter. I didn't get a good shot of her there. And I tried to get video, but it was just way too dark to get video of her. And I tried to take a picture, but she moved just as I took it. The other guy there is Andy. He's the guy that was at the shelter that night with me. There she is. She came right up to the shelter side. And then she kind of just was walking around. Of course, it was dark and I had it in night mode.
Well, it's day 2. And I'm sorry, day 3.
And there was...
I've already been 2.9 miles according to this because I started at the Siler's Bald shelter this morning. So I've already been 2.9 miles, and this is where I say goodbye to the Appalachian Trail. And I hit the Myrie Ridge Trail to go to the Jakes Creek Trail. So I'm actually staying down on the Jakes Creek Trail tonight. So got another 5 miles to go till I get there. The topographic map doesn't look too bad for this. It looks like it's mostly downhill and ridge walking, which is what I've been doing all day today. So, all right, here we go. Well, this trail won't look as well maintained as the Appalachian Trail does. This looks like a little trail. All right, off we go. Yep, bye-bye for now, Appalachian Trail.
Yep, the Myrie Ridge Trail was not very well maintained. Lots of blowdowns, overgrown, but it's not one of the more heavily hiked trails. So the backcountry office did not know that it had looked that bad yet. So I actually informed them when I finished the hike. I actually went there and told them, hey, this is what I found on the Myrie Ridge Trail. It was a lot of blowdowns. Some of them I actually had to dangerously go off the side of the ridge and hike down the steep side and hike around the base of the tree that had fallen. And some of them you had to try to crawl through, and it was really tough to do with a pack on. So I just let them know so that they could send somebody up and, you know, clear the blowdowns off. There was a big storm there like a week before I went, and so it had blown a lot of trees over in that area. There's what the trail looked like a lot of the way. Now, you've heard the song Rocky Top. Well, this isn't Rocky Top, but there is a peak in the Smokies called Rocky Top. It's what the song was written about. Why they wrote a song about it, I got no clue. Why the University of Tennessee feels like they need to use that song as their signature song is beyond me, because this little area that I just came up to right here in the video is what Rocky Top looks like. Been there. I've got pictures of myself and Jordan standing on top of Rocky Top holding an Alabama flag. And the funny part was it was taken by some University of Tennessee students that were up there eating lunch. Gotta love it. But that's what Rocky Top looks like. It looks like just you come up to a little clearing along the trail that's kind of got bushes on either side, and it opens up into a little clearing with some rocks there, and that's Rocky Top. And there's that famous song, Rocky Top, Tennessee. That's what it's written about, that little spot. But that's not this spot, but Rocky Top looks like that. But this is the view from there.
This morning, I was over there on those mountains.
Yep.
Now I'm over here on these.
That's Siler's Bald right there on the left. The peak on the left is Siler's Bald.
I just followed that ridge all the way around. And now I'm on top of another ridge that connected with that one. So yeah, it has been quite a hike.
So wow. I had hiked all the way down that ridge the day before
awesome.
And that morning to get all the way around to where
how
I'm
much
now.
ground I've covered on foot in one day so far. And I'm almost to the campsite for tonight. So, time to keep on moving.
And there we go. The third night, I finally arrived at my campsite. We had gone downhill, 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 downhill. So now I'm back down at about, 2,000 feet instead of 5,000. And there's the backcountry campsite number 27, the Lower Jake's Gap campsites. There's a lot of big tent sites there, really spread out. So there was a national park volunteer staying at a tent site. I guess if you can see over here where the sunlight is hitting over there, well, just a little farther to the right of that was another tent site, and he was staying in there. And then there was a couple that I ran into earlier that day. I came up to a junction between the Goshen Point Trail, I think, something Lower Goshen, something or other, and the Jake's Creek Trail. And there was a lady sitting there on a log eating lunch. And it was about lunchtime for me, so I went over and had a seat too and pulling my lunch bag out, and we got to talking. And she says, yeah, my husband's still coming up. He's on his way up. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. He comes walking, about the time she says that, he comes walking up the hill to the clearing there where we were at. And he introduced himself. His name was Jordan. Her name was Becky. They were celebrating their 17th wedding anniversary with their first hike without a kid with them. And it was their first solo hike together without anybody else, no group, no other group or anything. So it was kind of sweet. I kind of left them to do their thing. They left there before I did because they were already ready to go. And they were staying at the same campsite as me that night, so I knew I was going to run into them again. So I got there. They were already set up at the campsite. They set up where you get off the trail. I was literally, the trail is like kind of right back here behind these trees right there. So I was literally right off the trail. They set up about 50 yards farther into the woods than I did off the trail. And beyond that, another 50 yards was another campsite that was just right down by this little creek, little river, creek, whatever you want to call it. And that was the water source for the camping area. So you had to walk 100 yards from my tent to get to where the water was. And so I found out later there was actually another one right on the other side of the trail right behind me I didn't know about. If I'd have continued down the trail about another 20, 30 feet from where I cut off to go into the campsite, there was another spring over there that I could get water from. But I ended up walking down the trail towards them and went through their camp area and then on down to the other little, there was nobody at the campsite down by the water. And I went down there and got my water from the water source and came back up to my tent and cooked my dinner and everything. There's my pack, all unpacked again. My vape laying there on the floor, on the ground. That's the creek where I get the water, where I got the water from. That's about 100 yards from my tent. You could hear that all night long. Just hear that trickling, roaring. It was kind of more of a roaring water.
I'm camped right by this for the night. This is gorgeous. And the sound is, oh, wonderful. I'm going to sleep so well tonight.
The mosquitoes were horrible that night. I actually got stung by something while I was setting my tent up. I got stung right above the crook of my elbow on the bicep. I got stung by something. I don't know what it was, but I got ate up with mosquitoes that night too. Oh, that was bad. There's the other direction. Was my back to that little waterfall?
Yep, yeah, that's the trail.
Oh, no, that's the trail. That's the next day.
It goes up that way, comes down here, and I got to go through all of that.
That's actually the trail. I'm sorry. That's the next morning. So I went back to camp. The park volunteer guy was starting a fire over there in his fire ring. The other couple had a fire going in their fire ring. So I figured I'd make one in mine too, because that kind of helps deter bears. And the bad part is the other couple ended up coming up and talking to us and telling us, hey, about 20 minutes ago, a bear walked right through the little campsite down by the water. We saw him walk down there. So everybody wanted to try to start a fire to kind of help deter the bears. The camp guy got his, the park volunteer guy got his going. They got theirs going. I struggled for an hour in the fading light to try to get my fire started, and I could not get a fire started for nothing. Nothing would stay lit. I had the driest stuff I could find. I had the best kindling and stuff. I could not get my damn fire started for nothing. So I just decided to do without. So I slept well that night. Actually, believe it or not, I was tired, so I slept really well. I got up early the next morning. I decided I wasn't going to do breakfast when I woke up the next morning because I just wanted to get out of the camp. It was only a 2-mile hike back out, and I figured, okay, I'm going to go out. I'm going to get in the car. I'm going to drive up to Klingman's Dome. I'm going to see the view of Klingman's Dome on a nice, clear, beautiful day without the clouds. And then I'm going to drive into Gatlinburg and eat at one of the many pancake houses in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. So that was my plan. And it didn't quite work how I wanted to. So this here was the next morning. That's the trail in front of me. There's a spring over here on the left emptying into the trail, and it's just kind of flooding out the trail a little bit. I mean, the water's not that deep, but it's deeper than the sole of your shoe, so you're going to get your feet wet.
To the other side. Not too bad. It's not overflowing with water. It's just thin film of it. There's plenty of rocks to walk on until you get to right here. Beautiful spring coming out of the mountain, though. Talk about fresh mountain springs, man. They make the best drinking water in the world up here. And it's free. Totally free. Yep. There we go.
You can see all the bugs flying in front of the camera. It's all mosquitoes.
All right. About another mile and a half to get out of here. And I'm done for the weekend.
And so there was another. Now, this was on the hike out on Jake's Creek Trail. You're following right along beside the river. And the river is actually getting bigger and bigger and bigger as you go farther down the mountain, because all of these springs empty into that river as you're going down. And so the river just keeps getting bigger and bigger and more powerful. That was actually a waterfall on the river off to the side of the trail. And it's well down below me at that point. I'm still up higher than the river level is. And it's cascading down the mountain beside me as I'm walking. There's a video of it.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so easy to sleep with that sound. And then there's the trail on Jake's Creek Trail heading downhill. And the river's off to my left right there. And I'm still descending all the way. It was a solid descent all the way down to the trailhead where my car. And I parked because I got there so early. My parking spot was literally right beside the trailhead sign. So as soon as I came out of the woods, my car was right there in front of me. There's the river running down to my left. You can see I'm up above it, looking down on it, and it's running from the left to the right. So the water current is running left to right. And there's a little creek I came up on. The trail, I'm standing right beside the trail at this point, and the trail goes up and turns left and goes across that log bridge. On the other side of that log bridge was a couple. He was 82. She was, I'm going to say, probably mid to late 70s herself. They were sitting there just having a snack beside the little waterfall. Beside the trail, there was a log sitting there you could sit on. And they were sitting there having them a little snack. Just the sweetest old couple. He spoke with a German, I want to say a German accent. He was definitely from Europe. And she was Southern. But they had been there for a long time. He had been in the States for a long time. His English was good. He just had an accent. They were telling me of a scenic drive I needed to take after I left Gatlinburg to get back to I-40. They said it's probably more scenic than driving through the Smokies. I ended up not taking that because I couldn't figure out what he was talking about and where it was, and I couldn't find it on a map. I know now where it's at, so the next time I go, I'm going to take that route on my way out. But this was about a mile from the exit of the woods right here. And then this was after I got back out. I'm now in my car, and I'm driving back to Clingman's Dome, 17 miles from where I parked. Had to drive to Clingman's Dome. I'm going back by Chimney Tops there, and that's the Chimney Tops over there. There is a trail that goes up there, but it's partially closed right now still because of the fire back in 2011. They're letting everything regrow. But originally, there is a trail that goes up there to the top. Don't know if they'll ever reopen it. If they ever do, I plan on hiking it. It's only a 2.5 mile trail, and it's very strenuous uphill because obviously, look how steep all that is. That's the ridge line. And there's a little thing about the chimney tops is, can you imagine smoke wafting from the chimney-like formations on this ridge? Nearly vertical holes in the tops of these jutting rocks make them look like natural chimney flues, and mountain people named them so, chimney tops. The Cherokees called the mountain Donexwalugni something or other, meaning forked antlers. The half-billion-year-old chimney tops made of slates, schists, and phylates sit atop even older rock, Thunderhead sandstone, a tough erosion-resistant rock. The chimney rock, Anakeesta Formation, is softer than the sandstone, allowing rain, hail, and ice over hundreds of millions of years to fashion its chimney-shaped likeness. So that tells you a little bit about the chimney tops. I take lots of pictures there. Now there's the road going to Klingman's Dome that I was about to drive on. I had to go to the left. The road is behind me, running right to left, or left to right. I had to go down and then around this go down and around this this hilltop you're on now, and down into the valley, and then up that road right there to get to the top of Klingman's Dome, which this road then goes around that point there, comes back around and goes up to Klingman's Dome, which is over off the camera this way. When you get to Klingman's Dome, there's a visitor center. It tells you about Klingman's Dome. The mountaintop is a sacred place for the Cherokee. They call it Kuwahi, which means mulberry place. The Cherokee believe that bears meet here in the fall. The bears hold dances before going into their dens for the winter. The Cherokee also believe that the enchanted lake of Atagahi is found near here. Atagahi has special powers. The lake is invisible to hunters. Wounded bears submerge in its waters and come out healed. If a Cherokee focuses his spiritual vision in an all-night vigil on Kuwahi, the lake might appear at daybreak. It is believed that paw prints of all the bears that have visited the lake will be seen in its shoreline. It's a really neat little piece. I had to take a picture of that. This really neat piece of little trivia. Klingman's Dome is 6,643 feet above sea level. It's the highest point in the Great Smoky Mountains. It is the highest point in all of Tennessee, and it is the third highest mountain in the eastern United States. And that's from the top of Klingman's Dome. And this picture here, let me look. That's Gatlinburg in the distance. Gatlinburg there, Pigeon Forge up there. That's just a beautiful picture of mountains. Okay, that's Mount LeConte right there. I've been up to the top of Mount LeConte. We hiked that last August. Jordan and I and a couple other friends hiked Mount LeConte last August. We went to the top, stayed overnight. There's a lodge right up here on this point, right in there. There's a lodge that you can only get to by hiking. And it's like a cabin. It's like a bunch of cabins built up there. And you pay to stay up there like a motel. The people that work up there hike up there, stay a week up there and work, and then hike back down and take a week off. They work every other week. And then another crew comes up and fills in for them. So you actually have to hike to work to get up there if you work up there at the LeConte Lodge. That is the tallest, okay? It's not the highest mountain in the Smokies, but it is the tallest mountain on the eastern part of the U.S. The reason why is because you start the hike at the base of the mountain at a much lower altitude than you do any of the other mountains around. So it's the tallest mountain as far as hiking or getting to the top is concerned, because your starting point is at a much lower altitude. This picture here actually shows, is it this one? Yes. That ridge line right there, the darker blue one that's running up this way, that ridge line is the one that I had hiked on to get down. That's the Myrie Ridge Trail, runs right along that right there, and then it hikes down the side of this into Jake's Creek, and then Jake's Creek ends like back over in there somewhere. So that's where I had spent the previous 2 days, was along that trail right there. That's Thunderhead Mountain. I've hiked the top of that one. You hike up this way, and that's a long, steady incline all the way up, and then that last little quarter mile is just ridiculously steep. And then as you're coming down off Klingman's Dome thing, the flowers are just covered in bumblebees and these black flies. And then I bought this really neat map. It's a relief map of the entire Smoky Mountains, and it has every trail in the park on the map. So you can see where the trails are. And then I got out of there. I finally made it to Gatlinburg. All the pancake houses were closed. I didn't know they actually close all the pancake houses on Sunday afternoons. So my idea of having a great, wonderful pancake house breakfast was shot in the foot. So I found the Old Mill Restaurant in Pigeon Forge. I'm going to tell you now, if you're ever in that area, go to the Old Mill Restaurant. I promise you, you will never regret it. It will be one of the best meal choices you've ever made in your entire life. I can't say enough good about the Old Mill Restaurant. I walked in, the place was busy. I got in, they seated me right away. There was another couple that came in right in front of me. They seated them right away, like right across from me, like right, their table was like right next to mine, kind of. And within a minute or two of being seated, I already had my drink. And she came back and I placed my order, and your order was, I ordered country fried steak, and it comes with their their specialty mashed potatoes and green beans. And it also comes with a bowl of corn chowder and some corn fritters. She brought me the corn chowder and corn fritters back within, I don't know, 2 minutes. Hot, delicious, beautiful. I got about 3 spoonfuls of the corn chowder, and I ate 1 fritter, and she's coming out with my food. Huge portion of food. Huge. There's the corn chowder and the fritters and 2 biscuits. He said I got 3 bites of the soup, and maybe one of those things ate, and maybe a couple of bites out of one of those. And she brought me my food. 2 huge pieces of country fried steak, some of the most delicious green beans you've ever had in your entire life, and amazing mashed potatoes. And just so much food. I barely finished that plate off. I didn't finish the fritters or the chowder. I tried to finish the chowder because it was really good too. And Haley, my waitress, was just amazing. She was just on top of things. And even the people sitting across from me were amazed at how fast their food came. And it was hot. It was delicious. It like they had just that second made it. And every bit of it tasted like came out of grandma's kitchen. It was that good. Well, see, the old Mill Restaurant isn't really a hiker place because it's so far off the trails that the through hikers that come through, if they do get off the trail, they just go into Gatlinburg, and they stay in Gatlinburg, and they go to like the moonshine tastings and stuff like that for a day or two, and then they get back on trail and leave. They usually go all the way up to Pigeon Forge. This isn't Pigeon Forge. It's more of a touristy place. But man, the food is so good. And it was only $16.99 for all of that. So, I mean, what a deal. That's my new place. When I hike the Smokies, that's my new after trail meal. And you need it after that. And I think that's it. Yep. That's the whole hike, y'all. And now we're back to Hank. So yeah, it was a great fun trip. Loved it. Had a blast. Want to do it again. I did not want to come home because as soon as I got back home, I was right back into the stress of work again. It's been work has been especially bad this month. The last part of this month because the boss is just on us. And one of the other techs, he's a new guy, kind of created a new saying for all of us techs. The boss didn't like it when he said it, but the boss was getting on him. Now, this guy is a brand new tech, just took over his route, and they put him on a route with 233 stops in his very first month out of training. And they expect him to do it just as much as somebody who's been doing it for like 20 years. And you can't expect that out of a new person. And the boss is on him because he's still got so many stops left to do this month. And I was like, I'm listening to the boss chew this guy out in front of everybody because it's in our morning meeting this past Friday. And this guy says, you need to get this done. You're not going to finish your whole thing. And I don't know why you're not going to finish it. You know, you should be able to. And the guy looked at him and said, it is what it is. And the boss got really upset with him. The boss got really, really upset with him. He says, no, it's not is what it is. You're supposed to finish your route every month. You're supposed to get all your stops done. You're not supposed to have skips and whatever. Dude's like, you know, they did the same shit to me. When I started, they did the same shit to me. If y'all can't tell, I'm not happy at this job. I'm happy with the money I'm making, but I'm not happy with the job. If I could find another job making the same amount I'm making right now, I'd leave in a heartbeat. It's just, there's so much pressure to perform, and what they consider normal performance is what I consider intentional overperformance. And they expect that of everybody every month, all the time. There's so many things to keep track of at every moment of every day. And now they're adding more stuff to us, and it's just becoming so much of a stressful headache that I need to get away again already. I've been back a week. I need to get away again already. Hi, Hank. So, yep, that was my hike, and that's why I need to get away. Oh, you're all very welcome. That was awesome. So Jordan and I are talking about getting together in October. Alabama has a bye weekend in October. They always do. So their weekend off from games is October something this month or this year. So Jordan and I are going to get together, and we're going to do a Smokies hike in October, hoping to catch the peak of fall colors in the Smokies. That's going to be a beautiful hike. That's our next plan is. And him and I both actually want to do Virginia and do the Shenandoah Mountains in Virginia, the Appalachian Trail through the Shenandoah National Park. Yeah, I did. Yeah. No, I'd lose him and never find him. I'd go to sleep at night and Hank would be gone. I'd never see him again. Ain't that right, buddy? I thought about getting one of those little bubble things. You seen those? They got like the handle like wheeled luggage does, and it's got 4 little wheels on the bottom that roll like airport luggage, and it's got like a plastic round bubble the cat can sit in while you like wheel him around. But getting that thing up and down the trail would be pain, because you see what the trail looks like, right? My buddy Jordan's calling me now. I have to call him back later. I'll call you back. All right. Yeah, sadly, they do need their walls. I don't know that they would make it out there. And if they did get away from me and get lost, I don't know that they've been. Well, Aria has never been a wild cat. She's always pretty much been indoor cat. Hank has not always been an indoor cat. He was a barn cat. Yeah. Like a front pack. Yeah. Well, they make backpacks for cats too, but man, that would be way too much to carry. Oh man, 30 pounds on my back and then another 10 pounds. Well, Aria's not 10 pounds. Aria's probably like 2.5 pounds. Hank is like 5 pounds. I never can get an accurate weight on cats. I don't know how in the world to weigh a cat, because I can step on my bathroom scale to turn it on because it's one of them digital ones. But when you put the cat down on it, it doesn't register a weight whatsoever. I don't understand why. I'm like, how in the world do you weigh a cat? Got to hang him off of a harness or something and do a hanging scale or something. Hi, Aria Butts. Come here. Come here, little princess. Come on. Come on. Step on your scale in the bathroom, see what you weigh, and then pick the cat up and look at the difference. Hey, no, I've thought about that. Come on, Aria. Come on. Come say hi. Yeah, I see you. I see you. Come on. She'll never do what you want her to do. She just does what she wants to do. Come on, Aria. Oh, baby. Hey. Come here. Oh, Hank's going to hop up there and get in the way. Oh, he's going to hang out over there. Cool. Yep, stretch. Show everybody your business end. Hi. What? What? Hi. Hi. He does. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, they just weigh the carrier with the cat inside of it. I get that. That makes sense. Yes, Hank always wants all the attention. Come here, Aria. Come here. Come here, baby. Come on. Come on. No. She's like, I don't want no attention. I just want you to know I'm here. Well, y'all, you see? Told you I've got absolutely nothing done on it. The last time I did anything on it was 2 weeks ago, and that was kitting it up in my live. And I only got it partially kitted up. And the drills are still in the freezer. Oh, I'll try not to, Dawn Marie, but it's going to happen anyway. It's just life and it's work. I've got to get the rest of my stops scheduled for this week, and I only did about an hour of scheduling today. I got tomorrow and part of Tuesday scheduled. They want me to be scheduled 3 days out, and starting next month, we're going to be penalized if they ever look at our schedule and see that we're not scheduled 3 days out at all times, which kind of I don't understand. As long as I get my shit done, why does it matter how many days I have scheduled ahead? I'm at a loss on that one. The castle is good. It's still rolled up down here. I actually took it to Tennessee when I went my Tennessee trip. I took it up there. It had some popping drills, so I sealed what I had finished, which I probably shouldn't have done because chunks of drills are popping off and it's leaving little. I'm gonna have to glue them back down again. No, Hank don't weigh that much. No, he's all for. Hank probably weighs 5 pounds. And he's actually lost some weight in the last few months. He's not as chunky as he was. No, he's not. There's Aria. There's Aria. Hey, baby. Here. No, okay. Here. Not you, Hank. I see you. Hi. I know you exist. Yes. He just has to let me know he exists. I see you. Hi. Arya. Baby. Arya just came out of heat, so. Here, okay. It's Arya's turn now. Come on, Arya. Okay. Hank. Really? No, it is Arya's turn. Now, come here, Arya. Here, baby. Arya. She was trying to get up here on the thing, and Hank jumped up here, and she just swatted at him like, hey, no, it's my turn, damn it. Oh, y'all, I'm getting into something new. Y'all know I have this thing for hot foods. So I've been watching this guy on YouTube. His name is Johnny Scoville. He's got a YouTube channel called Chase the Heat. And the guy eats fresh, super hot pepper pods. And it doesn't really appear to even affect him in any way. Like, he eats them and continues talking, and then he starts like breaking down what the pod tasted like flavor-wise, which most of us would not be able to do. But this guy has built a tolerance to hot foods, hot peppers in general. And he actually has a series on his channel of how to build your tolerance up so that you can eat stuff like Carolina Reaper pepper pods, just grabbing the pod and eating it. Fresh off the plant type stuff. And I am going to start down that road, I think. And I'm starting by growing my own. I have a spare bedroom back here that's got no space in it. And I've got a grow light. So I ordered, right now there is a pepper on the market, or a pepper out there that has been developed and bred. And it's currently in a battle with the Carolina Reaper to be the hottest pepper on the planet. It's called the 7-Pot Primo. So named because legend has it, it's so hot that you could season 7 large pots of chili with it. One pepper. So I ordered some 7-Pot Primo seeds from Ghost Pepper Store. And if you read on the top there, it says, hottest peppers this side of hell. So I'm going to start growing super hot peppers. And I'm going to start down that path of becoming a chili head, as they call it. Because I like hot foods, and I like being able to eat hot things. Some things I think right now are too hot for me, like that 1-chip challenge that I did not do this year for the first time in the past 3 years. But yeah, I'm going to start eating hot things. I've got a fresh jalapeno. Oh, they won't touch them, Don Marie. They just take one sniff and they're like, nope. But they're going to be grown in that back bedroom back there. The only thing that happens in that back bedroom is Paul stays in there when he comes on the weekends to drive in Tuscaloosa. He stays back in that room. He's got an air mattress set up back there, so that door stays shut all the time anyway. Nobody goes in there. I don't even go in there. The only thing that goes in there is my rock tumblers, which, by the way, that load of rocks that I was filming for my Patreon are still in stage 4. They're still tumbling now. They're out in the kitchen right now because Paul just left this afternoon to go back, and I don't keep them running in there when he's in there trying to sleep because they're noisy. They're still running. They have been going now since June 25th, tumbling on stage 4, the final stage. They ought to be nice and shiny. So I am going to as soon as I clean a little bit, because I'm embarrassed to show it, and I'm not going to. My kitchen is just a mass of dirty dishes right now in the sinks, and I've got to get those all washed and put in the dishwasher and everything and get the sinks cleared out. And as soon as I do, I'm going to film the next part of the final part of pulling those out of the tumbler and showing them off nice and shiny. So I've got to do that. And I keep avoiding it because I'm working 115 hours a pay period at work. And I don't have time to be doing stuff like that half the time. I've had to put a lot of the things that I do on hold because of work. Because I get off work and I come home and then I got to work a couple more hours calling and scheduling people. And then I sit down in the chair and I pass out. And I'll sleep sometimes to 10 or 11 o'clock. And then I'm up late. And then I go to bed. I'm back up at 5:45 in the morning, 6 o'clock, 6:30. And back to work again. Do it all over again, 5 days a week. And here lately, it's been 6 days a week. I've had to work every Saturday, too. So it's wearing me out, y'all. This is a young person's job. This ain't no 50-year-old person's job. And it's definitely not intended to be for people that have ADHD, because there's way too many things that you have to keep track of on a day-to-day basis, all day long, every moment of every day. And my brain is not good at keeping track of multiple things at one time. Oh, wow, that's the first time I've seen one of y'all up there in a while. Arya's up in the top of the cat tree. They haven't been up there since we had the flea problem. Cool. Oh, no, she's not anymore. Now she's on the windowsill. Here comes Arya. Hey. Hey, baby. What are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? She keeps running back and forth behind the TV, poking her head around the side, looking at me and meowing, and then she'll... All right, Dawn Marie. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming to see us. Spending some time with us. Yeah, I decided tonight would be a little different. I'd just share a little bit of life with you instead of just you looking down at a desk while watching me attempt to diamond paint. It's been getting to the point where the only time I diamond paint is during my lives. I hate to say it, because I've just got so much going on that I just don't have time for it. And it's the only time that I actually do. Because a lot of times in the evenings now when I get home, I just don't feel like doing it. I end up sitting here and watching YouTube for a while, or just passing out in my chair. And I'll wake up, I'll sit here and pass out for 3 hours. And some nights I'll sit there and pass out until 2 o'clock in the morning, then I'll just get up and go to bed. I feel like I got no life, y'all. That's why this weekend was so good. I actually got to have a life for 4 days. I was free. I didn't have somebody yelling and screaming. I was away from customers calling. And I still got an hour of my live left, unless I cut it off early tonight. I don't know. Might cut it off early tonight. There's a couple things I'd like to do around here anyway, and then get time to do. So, oh, you're welcome, Nana. I'm glad you made it. Good, always good to see you here. I have to make it up that way and see you and Dawn Marie sometime. I really need to. One of these weekends, now that my car is actually legally registered and has insurance, and I'm actually caught up on all my bills for the first time in like a year and a half, and I am ahead on my rent right now. So when I get my check this time, I don't even have to pay the full rent amount to get my rent paid for September. So I just have to plan a Saturday or something to come up that way and come visit. Come up there and get some of that barbecue from that barbecue place there, Nana. The one that I think your son owns or your nephew. I can't remember which it is. But yeah, the barbecue place there coming into town. Oh, love that place. Oh, we'll have to go to that restaurant there at the mall if that's still open. One or the other. Hank, what are you doing? Hi, y'all. You can see me around Hank here. See, I'm here. I need to start making my own life on the times that I actually have time to do so. But they gave me this new account that I have to do, and it's 60 houses in one neighborhood. It's like a big circle road. And there's 66 houses I have to do the outside only on. And I have to do them on Saturdays. That's the only time you can fit them in. And so 2 Saturdays a month are taken up on. I do half on one Saturday, half on another. Yesterday I did 32 of them in about 4 hours. And I actually had a little bit of downtime in that because it rained for like 20, 30 minutes. So it only took me 4 hours to do 32, and there's 66. So theoretically, I could get there at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and I could probably do all 66 on one Saturday. But that would be pushing it right at 8 hours of steady work. Yes, Hank King Fluff. You are. You're all fluff, buddy. He's all fluff. See that? He's all fluff. Here's Fuzzy. Here's my fuzzball. No. Oh, y'all still see me? Please tell me you did. He just laid his head on my screen. Okay. Yep, I'm still here. Oh, check this out. I forgot I had this. Boop. And boop. Yay. There's all my links, y'all, running across the bottom of the screen. Wonder what the difference is between cinematic mode and regular. Nothing. Oh, I could have done my thing as a picture-in-picture. I didn't know that. Man, I'm learning all kinds of new things. I don't have anybody else to add into the thing. Okay. Cool. All right. I like StreamYard. I might pay the $20 a month for it. Get rid of that stupid StreamYard logo up there in the corner. I put my own logo in there. Or just get rid of it completely and not even have a logo up there. I think I might start using StreamYard more often. There's so much more you can do with it. And I can have guests. That's what I need to do. I need to have guests. Because that's the poll that I put out there a month or two ago. Said one of the big things was have guests on my live with me. And I think I might do that. Yeah, all is well. He's just laid out here on my diamond painting now and going to sleep. But so yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to start using StreamYard from now on, I think, for my lives. And I pay the $20 a month. I can keep having 1080. They're giving me 7-day free trial of the 1080p. Without paying $20 a month, you can't have 1080. And you can't change the logo that's up in the corner. You can't record your lives to save, that kind of stuff. But YouTube already saves the live anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. But you can brand your whole thing. You can use branding on your thing. Like I can go in here and I can change that to that, or like that, or like that. Keep it minimal. I can show headlines if I had some headlines to put up there. I can show an overlay on the whole thing. I can put a little countdown video in at the beginning. I can change the background of the, like when you have multiple people on and they're all in little screens, you can change the background. I can put background music into play while I'm talking. I like StreamYard. Yeah, I used it once before. I think it was back when the whole StreamYard, when somebody discovered it. I can't remember. Was it Crashly that discovered StreamYard? I can't remember. But then everybody started using StreamYard. And it became like a big deal. Like everybody started using it. And I think Amber and Melissa Brown were going to collab on a TSA painting. And we were using StreamYard like almost like we would use Zoom. And we would connect with her that way and we could talk through StreamYard back and forth together without actually going live. We could just do it in like the green room, the back room, whatever you want to call it, in the studio. And so we used StreamYard like we were using Zoom. And then I think we actually went live with StreamYard one time. And that was when Amber and Brian were doing the Mandy Mania event a couple years ago. And we had Brian on with us as a special guest. And that was the only time I ever used StreamYard. So I didn't really learn much about it. We just pulled it up and learned how to invite somebody else in. But yeah, I like it now. I think I'm going to start using it. I have OBS already on my computer. Everybody says you should use OBS. You can do so much with it. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not a streamer. Like OBS is meant for like Twitch streamers. And I'm not a Twitch streamer. I'd love to be able to stream my MLB The Show games. I think that would be fun. But there's a Twitch. There's a Twitch on my Xbox. There's already a Twitch streaming option where you can just go into it and say stream on Twitch right now, and you enter your Twitch information, and it'll just fire up the stream right on your Twitch channel or whatever. You don't need OBS for that, but if you want to add in all the cool stuff, like all the little graphics that show when somebody subscribes or whatever, you need Twitch for that. Or you need OBS for that. And I don't do enough. I'm not going to be a Twitch streamer. I'm sorry. I don't. Hank. Stop it. Why you gotta be like that? Maybe I'll learn OBS yet. I don't know. One of these days. I'll figure it out. Oh, I never showed y'all. I still got a lot to go on it, but this is coming along right nicely. I actually need to pull out the set and continue on with this. This is my book I got several years, 2019. It doesn't include ABs or anything, but but it's got the whole color chart, and you got a way you can put your own drills in there. And I'm not quite done, as you can see down there at the bottom, it's still got some of the, and this page isn't done yet. But that was where I bought that 447 color kit back in 2018, late 2018. I bought two of them. I bought one from one company, but the colors on that one are a different dye lot, and they're like kind of muted looking. Like all of the none of the colors are bright, and like even like the hot pinks are kind of muted. And then I ordered a 447 color set from Home Fun, and those are all like bright and colorful and whatever. So I'm using those to fill that out. And I still got to kit all of those. I still got to kit all of those up. They come in like one of the little packets, like 200 drill packets of each color. And I still got to finish kitting all those up. I did one video of kitting them up. Amber did one video of kitting them up. And we're still not done. Or I'm still not done with them now. One of these days. And now you can just buy the damn color charts with the drills already attached. And it's like, man, you feel like, why did I waste all my time doing that? And now you can buy color charts with them attached. Like the Art Dot one. Oh, wait, how did I do that? That's cool. Okay. I can show people's chats. That's really cool. How awesome is that? Yeah, it is. That is so cool. Wow. Oh, wow. I'm learning all kinds of cool new things. Yeah, I can just click. It's like over here in the chat on the right side. See, I can actually see the YouTube chat on StreamYard on the right-hand side, just like you would on YouTube. And each chat has its own little bubble, basically. And there's like when you hover over the bubble, there's a little plus sign that says show. And so then I can just click that little show, and it shows it on the screen. And then I can just click the little minus side on it now, and it says hide. And it, oh, wow. All right, y'all. Well, you know what? We've been almost 2.5 hours. I'm not doing any diamond painting here tonight. I showed y'all my hike in the Smokies. I want to go back. I don't want to stay here. I want to just go back. 4 days wasn't enough. I still have six more vacation days and one more floating holiday left to take by the end of the year. And the number of hiking days for the mountains is starting to run dry because after October, it's going to be so cold up there you can't stand it. Across from the TV. Huh? Oh, yeah. They were beautiful photos. Yes, thank you. I think I'm going to get me a clip. They make a clip for your shoulder strap that goes like right here. that you can hook. You can basically, on the bottom where your tripod screw is on the bottom of your camera, like your big DSLR camera, they have a thing that screws into that, and it clips into a clip that goes on your shoulder strap that you can carry your DSLR camera with your lens pointing down, so that all you have to do is grab it, use your finger to undo the strap, undo the clip, and then pull it up, and then you can take pictures with your your regular camera. I think I'm going to get one of those shoulder strap clips, and then I can start carrying my DSLR on my shoulder strap, and I can start taking pictures that way. I can even get some more professional looking photos. I have more that I didn't show tonight that I took on my work phone, and I had to email them to myself off my work phone, because you can't make an iPhone talk to the computer, and you can't make an iPhone talk to an Android and play nice with it. So you have to find ways around of putting your stuff off your iPhone onto a PC. So I had to email myself from my work email all of the pictures that I took on it, and I just don't have those on here. But the one that I have one that I want to. Let me see if I can find it real quick while I'm here. Huh, I can do that. Oh, I can exit full screen. Okay. Hold on, Hank. I know you're there, buddy. I know you're alive. I know you exist. Go to my backpacking. There we are. Yeah. Download. We're going to go to pictures. Smokies birthday hike. And we're going to download, save, download, save, download, save, download, save. And I had to do it in 3 different emails because I don't want that one. This one here, download, save, download, save, and download, save. And then go to that email, download, save, download, and save. I don't think I took any videos. Okay. Close that, and we will reopen this. Aha, it's still there. And we'll start right here. And now I will go back up here, go to present, share screen, window, that one, and share, add to stream, and put it like that. There we go. Cool. I'm there. Let's go to cinematic view. No. Put it back on that one. All right. So that one is the first day I took that picture. I can't even remember. Oh, that was right at the trailhead that I came out from. This is before I caught the shuttle. There's a little bridge that goes over this, and I took that picture from there. That was where I was parked at, was right next to that. Another shot of it. and that's looking the other way. My car would have been where this tree is right here. My car was like right off to the right of that tree. You can't see it through the because of the light, but my car would have been right there on the right hand side. And there's another shot of me. This was taken on my iPhone, so the pictures actually come out better on the iPhone. That's from Newfound Gap. I would kind of like to get that made into a diamond painting. I think that would be beautiful. I took that picture, and then the very first night of the hike, the first night when I stayed in Mount Collins shelter, there was some of the graffiti written on the wall, and a guy wrote a little saying on the wall. It said, "Stones beneath my feet, mountain beyond mountain, fading off into the haze." And I had taken this picture long before I saw that, but this picture just kind of was perfect for that. I tried it with different camera settings. And yep, that was it. That's all I had on the iPhone. So yeah, that's all the pictures. Now you've seen them all. There may be some on my other phone. I took 3 phones with me. I took my personal phone, this one. I took my work phone, which is over here somewhere. And right here, my work phone is an iPhone. And then I took my old personal phone that no longer has service on it, but it still has a good camera and I can still use it with Wi-Fi. I took it just to take pictures and video on in case I ran out of storage space on this one. That one's got an SD card in it, but I have not taken that other one out of my pack yet to find out what pictures are on it. That one, that one there, and that one over there. That one behind me, both of those are paintings that I did. They're Bob Ross paintings. I don't know. Did you ever see the live stream, Diane, that I actually painted those? I painted this one here in a live stream. I like the other one too. I like the way the water turned out on that one over there. You know how hard it is? That one there. I like the water on that one, the way it turned out. It turned out better than the other one. But the mountains on the one that's kind of hanging weird, the mountains turned out, I didn't like them. They kind of look like pyramids, and they just look too big for the painting. The scale isn't right there. Oh yeah, I did. I put on the Bob Ross wig and the light blue button-down shirt and the jeans, and I have the big palette like he does. And I actually have all of my supplies are BobRoss.com stuff, Bob Ross branded. I have all of his paints in big tubes, and I did both of those. I did one of them. I did on Zoom, one Sunday afternoon, I think, or Saturday afternoon. And the one that's right here, this one, I did live on a Sunday night, live one night. I mean, it took Bob half an hour to do that one. That's just a copy of the one that he did. I just kind of painted along with him. That one there took him a half hour without any cuts, edits, or anything. It took me 3 hours. But yeah, I got, in fact, I should have brought them all out here. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Meow. There we go. So I got some souvenirs while I was out, other than that big map. I did get a trail map. Hank, excuse me. I got a trail map of all the trails in the Smoky Mountains, a normal trail map. There's 900 miles of trails in the Smoky Mountains. I think I'm going to attempt to join the 900 Club. And the 900 Club is people that are attempting to hike all 900 miles worth of trails in the park. I picked up a little pamphlet. It was like $1 on the mountain geology of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And it tells you about the geology of how the rocks are formed and what kind of rock it is and that kind of thing. It's really neat. And it comes with a map of all the different geologic things in the park, all of the different layers and everything else that are in the park. I thought that was pretty cool. And I got some postcards because Pink Poodle, Ashley, had said, you better get me a postcard. And I was looking for one to get her. And hi, Arya. Hi, baby. Hi. Yeah, go see Hank. Nope, she's done. I did my camera time. Okay, I'm done. And so I got to looking for postcards, and I found some. Got that one. And then the 2 baby bears hanging on the tree. And then a Hank. Excuse me. And then another one with the bear laying in the tree. And then that one. That would make a beautiful diamond painting right there. And then that one. And then there's chimney tops. And then we'll flip it over. There's a little mountain stream. Another little mountain stream. And then the baby bear looking at you. So yeah, I got all of those. And I got a sticker. Clingman's Dome, Great Smoky Mountains, elevation 6643. I survived the climb. I did. I did it the hard way, not the up the paved path that all the touristy people do. I did that path too. I went back to Clingman's Dome after the hike was over, and I did it the tourist way, and I think the trail way was better. And then I got myself an Appalachian Trail sticker with the official Appalachian Trail logo. A footpath for those who seek fellowship with the wilderness. And that goes along actually with, you can't see it in the camera, but up there I have a one of those, those oval stickers everybody gets from places they go. Well, this one just has 6,593 feet written on it. 6593, and it says at the top LeConte Lodge in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. That's how high up that lodge is up there. And then I picked up a book. It says Hiking the Great Smoky Mountains National Park Falcon Guides. And it's nothing but a whole book of all the different hiking trails in the park that you can take and how long they are and what there is to see along those trails. So I think I'm going to try to join the 900 club. There's Alum Cave Bluffs, Charlie's Bunyan, and Mount LeConte on the via the boulevard. That's the trail that we hiked. Well, we did from Newfound Gap down here. We hiked up the Appalachian Trail to here at that junction, and then we took this trail here going up to the top where LeConte Lodge is up there, and then we took the Alum Cave Trail back down to there is where we parked. So we took a shuttle from the Alum Cave trailhead to Newfound Gap. We did that over a weekend. But yeah, that's a really helpful guide for planning trails and trips and knowing where the distance is and where the different lodges and stuff are. So, or the different shelters and stuff are. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you here. Yes, and I'm wearing my Storm Area 51 shirt tonight. Yes, yes, yes. Because they can't stop all of us. Yes, I bought into the whole Storm Area 51 thing. I was kind of hoping they actually would try. I guess I'm just the kind of person that likes to watch a train wreck in action, because that definitely would have been a train wreck. It'd be the first time you'd actually see the U.S. military turned against its own people. I hate to say it, but it'd be so true. Hank, why are you sitting there looking so sad? I boop. I boop. I boop again. And I boop again. He don't like boops. Boop. 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 You don't like boops, do you? All right. Yes, I know. I love Hank. I know you exist. All the boops. That's right. He gets all the boops. Arya really don't like boops. She'll just try to bite me. Boop, 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 boop. He definitely does not like his paws messed with. Oh, he hates that. He hates me touching his paws. Come here, buddy. All right. Come here. Come here. Ouch. Now he wants to lay in my lap now. I have a bad habit. When Hank lays in my lap, I fall asleep. I'll be sitting here watching YouTube. He'll climb up, he'll lay in my lap, and then I'm like, There's something relaxing about having a cat in your lap. I don't know what it is. I made like one YouTube reel or one YouTube short, or it was a Facebook reel. And it was using that that sound that it's like a song. It's like, I can't go to work today. I've got a cat in my lap. And I did it with Hank in my lap, and it got like tons and tons of views. I was like really surprised at how many views it got. But if Hank could spend all of his entire life right here like this, he'd be happy. Yeah. I've turned him into a useless cat. Because he just doesn't do cat things anymore. He just wants to lay in my lap all the time. Where are you go? All right, y'all. I'm going to call it a night. He's a big baby. He's a big 7-year-old baby. 7 whole years old. Arya's already 3. It's hard to believe. Oh, got a scratch. All right, y'all. I will see you again next Sunday. Y'all take care. Be nice to each other. There's already too much drama going on in our community as it is. I don't know what it's all about. I don't keep up with it. I just know that there's been some drama lately. Oh, thank you, Diane. Yeah, happy birthday was last week, but I enjoyed it. It was the best way I could think of to turn 50. I couldn't have, it's funny. I think about that now. I look back on it and I'm like, I don't think I ever would have imagined in my wildest dreams that I would spend my 50th birthday on the Appalachian Trail in the Smoky Mountains. And here I am. 50th birthday I spent on the Appalachian Trail in the Smoky Mountains. I had always thought my 50th birthday, somebody would have been throwing a party with, black and silver decorations saying "Over the Hill" on it. And to be honest with you, my 50th was better than I could have wildly imagined. That was probably the best way I could think of to ever spend that milestone of a birthday. Well, happy birthday coming up, Diane. I won't see you again until after that. Well, thank you. The white hairs here say differently, but I just take good pictures sometimes, that's all. Well, you don't look 61 in that picture either. Albeit it's a small picture, but yeah, I wish I looked 15. I got away with it for quite a while until I joined the fire department. I got away with everybody thinking I was a lot younger than what I was because I had to shave all of this off, and I only kept from here down here like this, like just the little Fu Manchu going down. Because for fire school, I had to shave off down here and everything around the sides because of your mask that you have to put on when you go into a house. And I had to keep it shaved for 6 months during fire school, and it all grew back white. When I finally let it grow back after fire school, it grew back white. And that was right at 40. But when I was 40 without that, when it was still just, it was no gray in it, no white in it whatsoever. I looked probably 25 when I had my goatee on, and when I would shave everything, I looked like I was like 18 again. Maybe I do. I don't know. I see myself different. I look in the mirror and I can see all the little wrinkles and the little lines starting to, the crow's feet starting to go over here. And what? All right. I know what he wants, and it's about time for it. So this time for real, gotta go. I'll see y'all next weekend. Same time, same place. Because I'm gonna go get this guy some good food. Yeah, you heard that, didn't you? Them eyes. But thank you, Diane, for the compliments. I really appreciate it. You never know what you. Everybody else has a different outlook on you than you do. It's kind of weird when you stop to think about it. But I will see y'all next weekend, next Sunday, same time, same place, same kitty cats. So till then, rock on, y'all. Roll Tide.